Hello, Miss Wilcox here. We are going to be talking about a new topic today called elapsed time. Okay, and I know that sounds like a fancy hard word, elapsed, but really all elapsed time is figuring out how much time has passed between a starting point and an ending point. So for example, let's say that you have baseball practice every Tuesday, okay? And your baseball practice lasts 1 hour, okay? Your mom has to know, all right, so I gotta pick so-and-so up 1 hour after practice starts. Well, how does she figure that out, right? She has to use elapsed time. When I was planning my math small groups for next week, I was like, okay, I want each one to be about 30 minutes long, and I'm gonna have this many in one day, so I had to figure out, all right, so if I start at this time and I end at this time, is that going to be enough time for all my groups? So elapsed time is something that you use all the time, even when you're a grown-up, okay? I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so problem number 1 says, Adriana started playing tennis at 2:30 p.m. If tennis practice lasted 45 minutes, what time did practice end? So maybe mom drops her off, whoever drops her off at 2:30, and they're like, all right, I got to pick her up at the end of practice. It lasts 45 minutes. Like, what time am I supposed to pick her up? Okay? So, we are going to count by fives and see if we can figure out what time does she need to be picked up from tennis. What time does her practice end? Okay? So, it starts here at 2:30. Okay? We're going to try and count by fives to count 45 minutes that the practice lasts. Okay? So, if I count by fives, it would be 2:35, right? Because I'm starting with 30, and then this line would be 40, 2:40. This line would be 2:45. This line would be 2:50. Okay, this time would be 2:55. Okay, this would be 2. So here is, I would write 60, right, if I'm counting by fives, but when we're telling time, we don't say 2:60, right? Anytime the minute hand gets back to the 12, which stands for 60, it changes to a new hour, okay? So this line right here is showing that it is now 3, it'll let me draw it, 3:00. Okay, so now it's 3 o'clock, but we're still counting by 5. So we have 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, I'm going to keep counting by fives, but now since I know it is now 3 o'clock, this hand right here, I'm going to say it is 3:05. Okay, this one right here is going to be 3:10. Right, still counting by fives. This one right here that we're going to end on is going to be 3:15. Okay, now let's go back and see if this is 45 minutes long, okay? Because that would mean that the practice ended at 3:15 and she needed to be picked up at 3:15, all right? So, let's see. We start at the 30, okay? And we have 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. And then we said this would be technically 65, 70, 75, but since we started a new hour, we said that it was right here, okay? So, let's see how many times I added up 5. I added 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? Over to the side, I'm going to do 9 times 5. because I counted by fives 9 times, right? The answer to that is 45. So this is 45 minutes. So the answer right here that we would write is 3. That was a really bad 3. Let's try that again. 3:15 is when practice ends. Okay? Let's look at number 2. Lucy watched a 2-hour and 30-minute movie. It began at 9 p.m. What time did it end? So what time is she going to start getting ready for bed? So it ends at 9. So we're going to jump. It says that it was 2 hours. So we're going to jump 1 whole hour. Okay? So if we're looking at a clock, the next hour is 10 o'clock. Okay? Then we're going to jump another hour because it said 2 hours. Here's another hour, right? So this would be 11 o'clock. Man, getting late. Hopefully Lucy doesn't have any exciting plans the next day, right? Okay, so we're not jumping another hour from here to here because it only says 2 hours, but it does say 30 minutes, right? So here I'm going to jump 30 minutes, okay? So if I add 30 minutes to 11, it's 11:30, right? 11:30 is what time the movie is going to end. Man, that's a late movie. 11:30, okay? Let's look at another one. So number 3 says that Eric went to art class on Saturday. Art class is 2 hours long. It began at 12:15. What time did it end? So this one, when we were skipping hours, it was just directly on the new hour. So it was easy to say, all right, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, right? Well, this one has some minutes. So this one is 12:15, okay? So we got to jump 2 hours. So we're going to jump 1 first. So if I add 1 hour to 12:15, it becomes 1:15, okay? If I add another hour, it becomes 2:15. If I were to add another hour, it would become 3:15, right? So art class ends at 2:15 if it's 2 hours long. All right, so let us do one more, okay? Number 4 says, Ella started her soccer game at 2 p.m. And here we have 2 p.m., the time it starts. The game lasted 2 hours and 15 minutes. When did the game end? All right, so we're going to add an hour, 1 hour, which is going to be 3 p.m. Then we're going to add another hour because it says 2 hours. Okay, another hour, that would be 4 p.m. Okay. Then it says 15 minutes, so we're just adding 15 minutes. Okay, and if over here I do 4 o'clock and I want to add 15 minutes, see how I lined it up? Because 00 stands for no minutes. This 4 is in the hour place, so I'm going to put a secret 0 right here, right? So 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, then I'm just going to bring my 4 down. So it would be 4:15. 4:15 is when the soccer game ends. Okay, so remember, elapsed time is just saying, okay, how long or what time does something end? So you're looking at the starting point and then the ending point of when something ends, okay? So over here we added 45 minutes and we counted by fives. Over here we did hours and 30 minutes. Then we added hours, and 15 minutes, okay? It always helps me to have this little what do you call it? This little line here to kind of help me count time, just to kind of keep track of it. Eventually you learn to do it in your head, but this is one way that can help you kind of keep track of the time that you need to keep track of. So, like, over here I could say, okay, for number 5, I could say, all right, Logan had a guitar lesson at 4:15, so I could write down 4:15, okay? And the lesson was 1 hour and 15 minutes. So over here, 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay? So I could also, I could also do it this way, and I could add it, okay? So 5 plus 5 is 0. Can't forget to add my 1. Okay, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, dot, dot. 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5:30, that's another way you could do it. You could just add it on the side, but this little line, I don't even know what it's called, line bar, or whatever you want to call it, is another way to help you, okay? So I'll show you one more way, or one more time, how to do it by just adding instead of using this line. But if you want to make your own line, it's pretty easy. Miss Miller went to the grocery store. She drove to the store in 15 minutes. She stopped for 45 minutes and drove home in another 15 minutes. So how long was her outing? So this time, we're figuring out how long was she out for, okay? So she drove to the store for 15 minutes, plus the 45 minutes that she shopped for, plus the 15 minutes that it took her also to get home. Okay, so I'm just going to add those up. 5, 10, 15, 5, add my 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and you're probably thinking 75, what? So, how many hours are in, or how many minutes are in 1 hour? 60, okay? So if I do 75 minus 60, right? Because 75 is over 60 minutes, so 60 stands for 1 hour. So right here I'm going to write 1 hour. And now I got to figure out how many minutes, okay? So that's why I'm subtracting 75 minus 60. So 5 minus 0 is 5. 7 minus 6 is 1. So for 1 hour and 15 minutes, she was at her outing. Okay? I'm also going to attach another video, and if you guys need any help with elapsed time, you can always FaceTime me, message me, and we can set something up. Good luck with your detective work.